Hello everyone, I'm RoboMonk and this is RoboMonk Tarot. Today, Spirit is leading you to somewhere you won't believe, or something that you won't believe. So we are going to find out together, and we are going to start right into the reading today. And it's a little bit different. There's going to be an actual spread of cards, but I'm going to draw what will be on the card and explain it as we go. So it'll still be a spiritual channeling for each card as it goes, and it'll be a unique drawing for each card. And I'll explain it on the way. So hopefully this resonates with you. Again, this is a general reading, so if one or two things resonate, that's great. Sometimes it all resonates, but it just depends. So I hope this really does work for you, and many blessings to you. I'll see you in the reading. Hey everyone, and welcome to the reading. Today we are exploring how Spirit is leading you to something you won't believe, all right? Something or somewhere. So I have in front of us 9 cards. They are 9 outlines that we're going to fill as we go in and go along. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Spirit our first question for the first card. And the first question for the first card is all about past events and moving away from what you've learned. When I asked Spirit this question, I really got a figure that was holding their hand to their heart that felt something very deeply. Something that was very emotional, but also I saw a chain, all right? A chain that was wrapped around this individual. I feel like this person could have learned about, or actually is feeling very trapped or chained to a relationship or to a situation. This is such an emotional situation that it's hard to differentiate where their identity is, where they actually want to go. It's a bit confusing when you are in a relationship or are in somewhere in life that you feel like you should be there, but it's hurting you. That can be a very confusing situation. So this person is holding their hand to their heart and then is in chains and surrounded by water. That's how emotional this feeling is. It's a big attachment, okay, to whatever this person is feeling or the situation that this person is in. And this is something that is in the past, or you are learning from it, okay? You are learning from this situation or this feeling. It may be that you are learning that you don't want to have this feeling anymore, all right? That you are learning how to separate the chains, separate your identity from the situation, and try and move on. The second question I posed to Spirit was about anything that's keeping you here, right? Keeping you in this situation. What is it that is having, why are you having doubts about the situation? And what came to me was a crow, the head of a crow. And with the crow, there are different symbologies of the crow. There are many different symbologies, but the one that stuck out to me in this particular instance, in this spread, in this position, is change. It seems like you may be feeling that even though you feel chained or trapped, you at least know what it is like to be in that trapped position. You know what's going to happen day to day, and there is a sense of kind of like security in that, at least not a lot of fear in that, where you know what's going to happen. But the fact that you feel trapped is also not good. So it's this conflicting energy, right, between this fear of change and this fear of being trapped, kind of torn between these two very different feelings, but both are out of fear, right? Both are not helping you in any way, shape, or form. This feeling of being trapped, either in this relationship or in a situation, and this feeling of fear of being of change is not helping you either. So this could be a really big doubt in your mind at this current moment. And Spirit is listening to you with this doubt, okay? Spirit hears you with this doubt. The next question I asked Spirit for the next card: what is it that you most want to preserve in your life? What is it that is so special to you? What is it that causes this fear of change and this willingness to stay trapped, right? Now, keep in mind that you are learning from this feeling of being trapped, and you may want to get out of it. But it's human to feel this fear of change or the other. That's what keeps us alive, and it's like this survival instinct, right? This fear of change or the other. But Spirit is saying that it may be time. It may be time. With this question of what do you most want to preserve in your life, relationship, or career, like right now? What do you want to preserve? I got an image of a woman holding two hearts with an amazing headdress, almost like a priestess, right? And she is calling on the divine, calling on her spirituality. And there's this giant pine cone on top, which symbolizes the spiritual connectedness between the spiritual world and our human bodies, right? This little part in our brain, the pineal gland. It's the organic connection in our brain between us and spirit, or is so believed. I think that this priestess is channeling spirit, all right? And it's balancing your love of self between your shadow side and your light, but also it could be a sense of hope for the future as well. You don't want to lose your identity. You don't want to lose how you feel about yourself. I think right now you are wanting to have this emotional connection with your feelings, this emotional love of self, and this really wonderful relationship with spirit. You don't want to lose that, right? Or it might be something that you don't want to lose the hope of gaining that. It could be either situation in that. But this balance between shadow and light is very important to you and very sacred. It's very sacred to you. That's why I'm channeling this priestess in this image. And you may be afraid of change, okay, where this may crush that hope of having that balance, or crush that hope of that spiritual connection. But what Spirit is really pointing out to you right now with these three cards in the bottom row is that right now, you feeling trapped, you feeling that fear of change is actually disrupting this connection anyways. So there is hope for yourself in the future, all right? After this change does occur, that you will be able to balance and love yourself much easier than you are right now. And you'll have a connection to Spirit much easier than you do right now. You may have a good connection, but it's going to be easier to connect, and it's going to be easier to love yourself after this feeling of being trapped in this situation or relationship is gone. All right? Okay, let's move on. The next question I asked Spirit were, what are some of the positive aspects that you have right now? What's actually helping you in this situation? Why have you survived in this situation? And I got a very interesting image in my mind. I had two trees, okay? So one of life and one of knowledge, right? But there was also the tree of life was very full, okay? Very full. And there's also this little companion next to you, and it's of a dog. Now, this could literally mean that you have a dog, but this also could mean that you have a very loyal person in your life, or you are a loyal person, all right? And that may be why you're feeling trapped already, is because you feel this loyalty to this relationship or this situation, even though it's hurting you. That could be one. But I think in this position with this card, it's really pointing out that you have a loyal friend out there that can help you, or you have this life connection that is going to give you enough strength to move on, right? To move on from this trapped feeling, to overcome that feeling of fear with the crow, and to hold on to that hope of self-love and balance. I think you also have a deep internal structure of spirituality. I got that from that priestess character that I drew on the third card, but also I see in the tree of knowledge this star shining, and it's all internally, right? It's all internally. I think you have a very bright light inside of you, and maybe right now it's not shining as brightly, or you are letting it shine because you've learned from this trapped feeling that you have to let it shine, right? No one's going to stop you. And with that, that is a huge positive that is working for you right now in this situation. That internal light that's shining, that loyalty that you have, either in a friend or in yourself, it's really going to help you through all of this situation. Then I asked Spirit, is there anything opposing you moving on from this trapped feeling? And this was a very powerful image that came to mind. So, I see a dagger, all right, a dagger held by a hand with a jewel on top. And then I see a hand that is put forward in a stop position, right? So stop. It's almost like an ultimatum. With an ultimatum, it is you must stop what you're doing, as in stop leaving or stop shining, or else the dagger, right? I find that this could be a forceful person in your life that's trying to dim your light. This could be a person that is masked as well with that jewel in the dagger. It could look pretty, right? This presentation may look pretty, but it's actually an ultimatum of stop what you're doing or else, right? So this hand with the stop motion and then the dagger coming out, it's definitely a threat, right? It's a threat. It doesn't have to be a physical threat, but it can be definitely as damaging if it's an emotional threat, right? There's a person in your life that doesn't want you to shine, and I think that's kind of why you're feeling this trapped feeling, and you want to move on. Maybe you feel guilty that you're moving on from this person. Maybe this person was a very important role in your life for a long time, but now it's time to move on for your health. All right? It's time to move on for your health. But yeah, there's definitely an ultimatum here. If this is a work situation, this could be a boss coming in and saying, hey, you know what? Look, these are the rules. If you don't like them, then you're going to have to leave, right? You're going to have to leave, which could cause fear too. You may feel like you're chained to your job. Chained to your job, and it's not really fulfilling. But you're fearful of change because that means that's your paycheck, right? That is something that is different, and you're not exactly sure where to go. But maybe your boss is saying, hey, look, stop what you're doing or else you're fired, right? So that is something that's coming to mind as well. But just remember, and Spirit is telling me this too, just remember that Spirit is taking you to somewhere you won't believe, right? You are on a journey. All of these feelings are natural. All of these feelings are okay to feel. But just know that you have this inner light, you have this inner strength that needs to shine, and Spirit wants to see that shine, right? Spirit wants to bring that out of you to make sure that the whole world can see it. Because that's why you're here. You're here to shine your light. You're here to make a difference in other people's lives. And right now where you're at, you may not be able to do that fully, right? With this person with the dagger in your life, or this situation with the dagger in your life. It's something that's holding you back for sure from shining your light. The next question I asked Spirit for the 6th card is, what must be overcome to make positive changes, find lasting happiness and success? And this is the part that you start to say, okay, I don't know if I believe this, right? I don't know if this is going to happen. I have been trying for a long time, or I feel guilty, or whatever it is, the emotion that is holding you back, right? This fear is holding you back. And the vision I saw is a person climbing the mountain, right? Climbing the mountain with this hiking stick, and then looking back at the house that they just left, right? The security that they just left. And they don't know what's going to happen in the future. But then I also saw chains around the house that you couldn't see because you were inside the house. But now you see them. You see the house for what it was. It was a false sense of security. And it really wasn't healthy for you. So Spirit has called you out from that house. Now you have clear vision. You're on top of this mountain, looking back. You have clear vision of what that house really was. It was not security. It was false security. Thus the chains in the card 1 and now in card 6. And this is something that is really quite powerful. You have clarity. Spirit is giving you this clarity now. You can actually use this knowledge, right? And to make your next step. To make your next step. And with this, it moves us to card 7. And what is the next action, Spirit? What is the next action that we must take in order to move on, right? So we've gained the clarity. We know that house was not safe for us, right? That past job, that past relationship, that past lover, whatever that is for you, since this is a general reading. But what must we do? The vision that I got was an eye looking at a droplet of water splashing. All right? So you see this beautiful crown of water splashing up, and this droplet coming down, and you see the ripples. You see the ripples of that droplet, right? And then there is a line. Coming down, and with it is the moon. This makes me think of deeply reflecting on what it is that will make you find your balance, will make you find your peace. This is that connection with Spirit that is oh so important, that you didn't want to lose in card 3. You must tap that now, right? You must use that pineal gland. You must use that priestess in you, or priest in you, to really call upon what it is that Spirit is calling you to do, right? So Spirit is leading you to somewhere where you won't believe, right? It is something that you couldn't fathom in card 1. You couldn't understand it. You couldn't emotionally understand it. You couldn't physically understand it. But you've taken this on blind faith to say, okay, I'm stepping outside of my security zone. I'm conquering this fear. Now what, Spirit? So you are channeling Spirit yourself, all right, in card 7, to do some shadow work, to say, okay, now, where do I go next? Thank you, Spirit, for showing me this false sense of security in card 6. I didn't know, but now I do. So where do I go now? Spirit's not going to leave you stranded. Spirit never does. Spirit will guide you along to card 8. To card 8, I got this person on their knees in almost a holy fire. This holy fire is a cleansing one, all right? It's not anything that is bad. It's a fire that is so pervasive that it's almost, I almost feel like it's a cleansing fire. It's almost like letting out all of this frustration that was trapped inside of you, right? Was trapped inside of you. And the wings behind it leads to a phoenix, right? Rising out from the ashes, from the flame that once was, and you are born anew, just like the phoenix. I think here you are dealing with those emotions that you had to keep so tight in those chains in card 1. You are dealing with those emotions that truly had affected you, but you didn't realize it. It's easy to just tamper down those emotions, to push them down and say, I'll deal with them later, or maybe never. You know, I'm okay. And once you had that in card 6, this looking back and saying, oh, maybe it wasn't okay. Maybe this is for the better. And now you're realizing where you need to go from card 7. You're going to rise up like the phoenix here. You're going to say yes. And you're going to let out all of that emotion that you've been holding back. And that's okay too. We have human emotions, and it's okay to, for a time, let those out because they need to come out. They couldn't come out before, and now they need to, right? It's a process of healing. A process of healing. So that's like the short-term result, all right, for card 8. In card 9, I got this beautiful image. And it's something that in card 1 you truly wouldn't believe, right? You truly would not believe. It's something that you are feeling fulfilled. You are raising your hands up to the sky in praise and gladness. You are broken from those chains that bound you. You are praising Spirit thanking Spirit for guiding you to this place. You never thought in a million years you would get here. You thought, I will always be trapped in card 1. I will always be afraid of change. And then all of a sudden, you got that hope, you got that strength, you found that inner light and you let it shine. You went past card 5 with that ultimatum and you broke free. You found your plan, you found your life purpose, you rose up like the phoenix, and now you are praising Spirit in your happiness. So Spirit is saying that this happiness, this joyous occasion, is within your grasp, and don't believe otherwise. You can feel like this person raising up their arms to the sky in true, glorious praise. The last image that I got is an overall image, and it's one of an hourglass. It's an old-fashioned timekeeping device from the Middle Ages, and it would have sand, and it would, once the sand went from the top to the bottom, it would mark it as an hour. And it really, to me, marks the passage of time. What's happening here is the passage of time is being quickened. So you may think, oh, I'm feeling trapped now, or I'm afraid of change now, and this may be a long time off. Spirit is telling me, no, it's not actually. It's actually going to happen quite quickly. It'll happen differently for all of you as far as how it will happen, but as far as time frames, it's going to be pretty quick from where you are watching this video. All right. So the fact that the sand is leaking out at the bottom, it's quickening the time frame, and that just says to me that this is going to be in the near future rather than the far future for you. So Spirit has guided you from this trapped feeling to a place that you won't believe, to something that you won't believe. So thank you, Spirit, for this channeling today. We truly appreciate it. And thank you, viewers, for being here with me to experience it with me. I truly appreciate you. And I hope this resonated. If a few cards resonated, let me know. If it all resonated, let me know. I would love to hear that too. But I wish you nothing but happiness and blessings. Take care until next time.